Good evening and welcome to an all-new episode of Halla Kuwait. Of course, we have the Ramadan special going on, so we have a lot of great guests. But in the beginning, good evening, Muhammad.
Good evening to Rita and good evening to the viewers. Please, before we start our amazing episode of Halla Kuwait, sit back and relax. We'll promise you have report segments and guests talk about different topics from different fields, and especially this evening we have a really interesting field to share with you, dear viewers, isn't it, Rita?
That's right, Muhammad. Dear viewers, tonight we're going to be talking about different fields and different topics, so please stay tuned for that. But in the beginning, let's view this report and we will be right back.
Good evening, dear viewers. Tonight we are in Kuwait City covering the Girgian event of the Kuwait Society of Engineers. Stay tuned for this report.
Today we have a kids celebration. It's a traditional celebration called Girgian, and it's organized by the Kuwait Society of Engineers. We know social life is really important, just as our professional life. So we dedicate this day for kids to have fun. So we have so much activities going on, like performance, traditional dancing, give, and we're going to have also prize. So it's really fun for kids. And it's not only for kids to have fun, it's also for adults and engineers. And everybody's welcome to participate. Every year we do it, we never miss it. It's a very nice events together with the kids to have fun.
That was the end of our report, dear viewers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe and goodbye.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and our first guest of the evening is Coach Hamida Rahimi, the coach in STEAM Global Competition. Coach Hamida, it's really a pleasure to have you with us on Halla Kuwait.
Thank you, pleasure is all mine.
And you're creating this atmosphere for your trainees, and everyone likes you. It's really obvious, and they also like to join the robotics field, but you are the coach, so we're asking you the same question, which is tell us about your story with robotics and when did you exactly start it?
Well, I started when I was 19 years old. I was
great.
looking at different universities to apply to, and then I saw websites, I saw animation, graphic designing, and I got into this thing from the beginning. Now, while I was getting my bachelor degree, I kept on doing this. I got a master's degree in MBA. I kept on doing that. I established a company, and I started to help and encourage companies and businesses to infuse technology into their business processes. So what happened in 2016 that I had a client to establish a coding club for kids. So that was the project. But while we were creating the project, developing it, establishing everything, I fell in love with it. I loved transferring this knowledge to the children, giving them the opportunity, empowering them with something that will affect them in life. Like they are getting a lot of information, a lot of experience in schools. But what about applying all of that in life? Exactly. And that was our role. And after 8 years of providing workshops to the students and to the children ages 4 to 16 years old, we thought that it's time to compete.
Exactly. And that's the secret. You told us the secret why your students really like you. And you're inspiring them a lot. So we are wondering now about the time of competition. You have a Sphero third competition, a global competition it is.
Yes, yes.
So will you please tell us more about the Sphero's third competition?
The Sphero Global Competition, it's been repeated for the third year this year. They started in 2020, 2021 with different themes. This competition is managed and initiated by Sphero Company, which is a company specialized in creating educational robots. So they have created this opportunity, this wonderful STEAM project opportunities for children around the world to participate in.
Well, that's really great. So now, one of the most frequently asked questions to you and to your students and all the team members and volunteers is about the word STEAM. So what is exactly STEAM?
STEAM is an educational methodology which was introduced by the National Science Foundation in the United States in 2001. And it encourages or it focuses on finding the integration between different subjects.
That's interesting.
The word STEAM, the letters of the word STEAM stand for different subjects. S is for science, T technology, E engineering, A is art, and M for math.
That's
And
great.
recently they added R, which is research. So the idea about STEAM education is to find an integration between the different knowledges the students are finding or getting from different subjects and applying this knowledge in a project, in one project.
Exactly.
It has been proven very effective in the past 20 years, being infused in educational system in developed countries.
Exactly. Since, mashallah, you have a lot of information and knowledge about this field and also the competitions, we would like to know how many teams previously participated currently and from which countries this year, of course, and the previous years. Will you please tell us?
Yes. So the first season, they had over 70 teams from 8 countries. Second season, 225 teams from 15 countries. This year, we had 500 teams registered We had 500 teams registered from 13 countries. Only 300 were able to submit their full participation and project, and only 10% were selected to be finalists.
That's great.
Yes, the countries we had participated in, or the teams we had participated from United States, Canada, India, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Netherlands, and of course for the first time Kuwait.
Well, for the first time Kuwait, and it's also the Kuwaiti team accomplished like one of the great accomplished for the first time is the finalist, like it's one of the finalists. So tell us about this and how you start. Tell us also the story of you forming the team.
In October 2022, we told ourselves enough with workshops, let's go compete.
Exactly.
So we created this training boot camp and we selected 2 teams, ages 8 to 11 years old and 11 to 14 years old. And we have gone through a lot of training to learn more about zoology, basics of engineering,
That's great.
coding, robotics, even art and craft.
Well, that's really great. And also, how does exactly the competitions goes? Like, what kind of mission you work and you have to accomplish during the competition and also during the training course you gave to them?
This year's theme was about wildlife. And our mission was to create a display, an interactive display of a robot representing an animal living in its habitat or habitat and all the creatures living in that habitat.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was a very fun project to work with, and we try to find related animals, to relate things to our local environment, to Kuwait's environment.
Exactly. That's really accomplishing and something different also. So when it comes to difference, We mentioned that it's the third year or the third competition of Sphero. So how does Sphero is different from other robotics competitions? What's so special about it?
Now, basically, most of the robotics most of the robotics challenges are based on time, evaluated based on time, which is giving the team a specific time to assemble the robot, then giving them specific tasks like moving a ball, following a line, something like that, or even robot fighters. They have a specific task to be done, to be achieved in a specific time, and the faster is the winner. In Sphero, they are evaluating the experience, the learning experience, and not the end result. So they have requested us to document all our learning experience, how the students made mistakes and how did they fix it. So the creativity and problem solving also was one of the main things that they evaluated us with, and also how did we integrate the different subjects and applied it using the robot and the coding.
Exactly. So the competition, as far as we understood, needs a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of planning and creating your schedule and time management, etc. It's really a big effort you have achieved with your students. But we are wondering, how do you prepare them psychologically for the competition, like mentally and psychologically? How you make them comfortable psychologically and mentally for the competition?
The emotional and mental readiness of the learners of the team was very important from the beginning, before we started working on the project. So we did a reflection session following CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy principles.
That's great.
And we created the safe space for the children to express their feelings, to express their thoughts, their ideas, and to respect other team members' ideas and thoughts. And as a team, we were able to set up our expectations.
Well, Coach Hamida, you mentioned also like the team representing Kuwait's community. So will you please explain it more to us, how the team is representing the Kuwait's community?
From the first day and the first session, we had guests. We had guests from individuals, and we had a lot of people helping us to try to make this project work, to encourage even the students to continue on achieving and to reach this achievement that we have today. We have individuals, specialists in their field, like zoologists. We have Sarah Al-Jtaili, Rana Al-Umani, Dr. Mohammed Al-Sayiq, Hanan Al-Sharrah, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Hanan Al-Sharrah, Sabah Al-Mandani, they all helped us in a way to get or to help and or they all help us in a way to share their information with the students, to give us feedback, even the positive feedback, even the like that we used to get on a post or a comment that we used to get on a post.
You feel it's precious.
Yes, it was. It was like encouraging to see that the community has participated in this, and they have seen the children going through their learning experience, encouraging them and helping them with more information.
Exactly. So you're getting support either at the social media or in person, like by attending the course or asking for the course, and checking on the students also in the process of the competition is really encouraging and helpful. So also in these kind of projects, the team not only learned skills like coding and or engineering, they also learned some soft skills. We would like to know more about it, about the soft skills and the experience they had.
One of the biggest challenges they had is learning how to document their process. So that was one of the things that children in this age didn't know how to do. Another thing was the communication, the teamwork, defining the tasks and following them. And the most important one is the creativity and problem solving. That was one of the things that even differentiated us from other teams.
Exactly. So when you teach your students, you discover different dimensions of their personalities, the way they behave, how do they sound, the way they act, where do they exactly sit, which corner they prefer, which takes you to teach them also, or focus with them on other values. Will you please mention it to us?
The competition in general focuses on increasing the children's awareness towards the environment and the wildlife. And what we have done in our sessions, we kept on telling them or mentioning how important it is for us to save the environment and what is our role in doing that while we're building the project.
Exactly.
So we use So we use environmental friendly materials, we use recyclable materials, and we also focused on increasing their awareness of the amount of materials they use. Like for example, if they have 10 paper cups in front of them, they don't have to use them all.
Exactly.
And thanks God, we are living in a blessing. We are blessed with a lot of resources around us, and we lack, or some of our children started to lack the feeling of appreciating the resources and to think critically about using it. So this is one of the things that we try to also like encourage the kids towards, that use only what you need.
Exactly.
So if you don't need 10 cups, you only need 2 cups, think of a solution or think of a way that will use the least resources possible.
Exactly. So since the Kuwaiti team made a huge accomplishment during this Sphero competition, and also the training course, and also doing the project, it was really a great experience. So what do you think was the area that contributed most in the team's winning? What was the most important thing behind that success?
The creative and fun way we solved problems. Like we face a lot of problems during the project. For example, we had to order a piece of the bits of the robot to make our chameleon interact. So there was a motion sensor. When you get closer to it, the chameleon starts talking to you and tell you his story. But we forgot to buy this small bit, and we didn't have to buy it before submitting the competition files. So what we did after 2 days of thinking, one of our students created a rap song about a chameleon singing and rapping about himself, his features, and educating the audience about himself.
Well, that's really great.
That was amazing. But it was, you know, this fun and creative way of solving the problems that we had.
Exactly. Well, that's really a great accomplishment so far. So what's only left, let's say, is, or what can we say after this amazing answers from you and the amazing information you shared with us, and you shared with us the story of your team and how you got to your great accomplish, and how the Kuwait's team reached the finalists, and it's really a great accomplishment. So we are wondering now about the future projects, and also, dear viewers, Coach Hamida is preparing a book. She's going to write a book, or she's in the process of writing a book. So we would like to know first about your future projects, and most importantly, your book.
Inshallah. For the future, we are now planning to focus on finishing the final mission given to us, which we received yesterday night. The mission is about creating and inventing a device to protect the robot that we have created in the first phase. So until end of April, that will be our goal. After that, we will be having training programs for new learners, and we accept only 6 learners maximum, and the duration is 3 months. We don't have small training sessions because we believe that their consistency and being exposed to STEM projects and STEM ideas, or the knowledge that they need to change their behavior and to become part of of their personality and lifestyle need consistency in the long term. So that is one of the things we're doing. We are also empowering. We would also like to empower teachers. We would also like to empower educators and parents.
That's great.
By offering Training the Trainers program. So we want to encourage the society to start learning about the STEAM projects and how to implement that and how can that affect their children's life and education.
Well, that's really great, and thank you so much for the amazing information you shared with us. But it's really unfair to end this great interview from the student's favorite coach without asking her for one last advice to our dear viewers.
STEAM education is a very effective and interactive way to increase the children's connection to the different subjects they're having in school. And I encourage all the parents to have their children experience STEAM. I encourage all the parents to have their children experience STEAM projects.
Well, that's really great, and we wish you the best of luck with your future projects, Coach Rahima, and we wish you the best of luck for your book, writing your book, and we're really interested to read it. Thank you so much again, and it's really a pleasure to have you with us on Halla Kuwait. The viewers, we just had with us Coach Hamida Rahimi, coach in STEAM Global Competition. Let's go now to our second report of the evening, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Dear viewers, we have been joined by Yusuf Rifai, the finalist and team leader for Team Fed Zone. Good evening, Yusuf, and welcome to Halla Kuwait.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Yusuf, you have done an amazing project, so can you tell us about it? It's about coral reef.
We chose the coral reef because it has a variety of 250 million species of sea creatures to choose from. It's very important because
it has a lot of things, and I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
I think if anyone has seen the coral reefs, there's different colors, different creatures, and so much to see, right?
Right.
Definitely. So what did you learn while doing this project?
I learned lots of things about coral reefs, about where they're located, about their lifespan, what creatures live in it. I also learned about STEM, engineering, and more.
Yes. So much, of course. I think projects do help us learn a lot, and it's a fun way
Yes.
to learn. So since we're talking about having fun, I think all of us, when we were younger, we do prefer playing over maybe studying and doing assignments. How did this project reflect on you? Did you feel like it was just a scientific, boring project, or did you actually enjoy it?
I really enjoyed the experience because it taught me lots of things about the coral reef and about technology.
Yes, of course. It's a great way to learn again. So what materials did you use in the project?
We used recyclable and eco-friendly materials.
And how important is it to have a friendly environment or even materials that we can recycle in projects?
It is really important because these resources don't cause much harm than normal materials.
Of course, it's very important to take care of our environment. So can you tell us about your hobbies?
My hobbies are fencing, drawing, reading, writing, and coding.
Yusuf, thank you so much for being with us. Do you have any final words or advice for anyone watching?
My advice to children my age is if they really like technology and robotics, if they face a mistake or a problem coming in their way, they could don't stop and continue until you find the solution.
I think that's amazing advice, and I'm sure everyone is very proud of you. Yusuf, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear viewers, we had with us Yusuf Rifai, finalist and team leader in Team Pet Zone. Up next, we have a report, and we'll be right back.
Artificial intelligence is a wide-ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. In general, AI systems work by ingesting large amounts of labeled training data, analyzing the data for correlations and patterns, and using these patterns to make predictions about future states. In this way, for example, a chatbot that is fed examples of text chats can learn to produce lifelike exchanges with people. Or an image recognition tool can learn to identify and describe objects in images by reviewing millions of examples. The easiest way to understand how a machine becomes intelligent with AI is to compare it to how humans learn. For example, consider a child learning how to ride a bicycle. The child mounts the bicycle, grips the handlebars, and hopes to stay upright and in control. The child does not learn how to ride a bike by understanding the physics of biking, but rather through trial and error. Over time, the child becomes instinctively adept in perceiving factors that can make him lose control of the bicycle. Just as a child learns the unwritten rules of riding a bicycle through practice, artificial intelligence is developed through repeated simulation. AI programming focuses on 3 cognitive skills: learning, reasoning, and self-correction. As the hype around AI has accelerated, vendors have been scrambling to promote how their products and services use AI. Often, what they refer to as AI is simply one component of AI, such as machine learning. AI requires a foundation of specialized hardware and software for writing and training machine learning algorithms. Artificial neural networks and deep learning artificial intelligence technologies are quickly evolving, primarily because AI processes large amounts of data much faster and makes predictions more accurately than humanly possible.
Tennak is the person who manufactures light household products and utensils from tennak, which is a thin sheet of chrome-plated steel. This profession has been employed by a number of Kuwaitis in a market for these products called the Al-Tannaka market. In the early 1950s, the market was diverted to a market selling alfalfa. After many of the bakeries left their shops and headed for other businesses, while others retired after demand for their mostly unpopulated products declined early. One of the products manufactured by Al-Tannak was large and small-size metal barbecue grills, with tongues, metal funnels, aluminum candy boxes including turmeric, which is a handpick used to pull kerosene from large containers, large metal gasoline and kerosene with hand pumps to withdraw kerosene into the lamp or glass bottle to be used for lighting. The Tannaks also made funnel and the Kandiri lamp, which was an aluminum container with kerosene pot for lighting. Al-bamboo was a small tube-like, sharp-edged measuring spoon, open from the upper part of the sharp end, used by sellers and buyers to scoop out rice, sugar, wheat and other goods from large containers, to either serve or allow customers to see and sample their goods. Al-Kol was a medium-sized cylinder tube of 30 to 40 centimeters long and had a lid and was used to keep documents and official papers protected. Al-Tannak, who were craftsmen, used the following equipment as a part of their trade: hammer, sheath, chisel, scissors and saws. They also used lead for soldering. The Tannak begins his work by cutting the tin with the scissors in the shape and size required for the work. Then he would hammer it and shape it to the specific required spec, and then would solder it together. One of the most important products of the Tannak was large metal or tin containers used by hundreds of sailing ships to store and carry large quantities of sweets, to be stored and used by sailors with bread while traveling to India, which required large quantities of stored food. Tannaks also made large tin buckets and tubs for bakers to make dough in them for baking bread. Tannaks also made various sized containers for storing various types of oils, which would be stored year-round to be sold and consumed by people. They also made small tin piggy banks for children to save their money in. Most Tannaks have closed their shops in early 1940s due to reduced demand for their products, mainly due to stoppage of pearl diving since the oil exploration boom.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and our third guest of the evening is Fatma Iyad Ali, finalist and team leader of Team Sayr. Welcome to Halla Kuwait, Fatma. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So we are wondering, what made you interested in robotics, and when did you exactly start?
I started my journey with robotics since I was a kid. I joined many clubs and competitions like Dawri Shabab and Technovations. And recently I've had this opportunity to be here with Hamida in this competition.
Great. That's really great. So will you please tell us more about your project?
So our project is the chameleon. We chose the chameleon because it has lots of unique features, like its camouflaging ability, which we showed using CDs. We recycled the CDs and stick them on the body so that it could reflect its environment, and we also had the tail and the eyes.
You faced a challenge, as far as we know, regarding the design of the chameleon's eyes. So can you explain it to us?
Yes.
It was challenging.
Yes. So the eyes of the chameleon move in different directions, each one a direction. We had to show this in our robot. So after experimenting with lots of techniques, materials and ways, we chose the LED matrix, which is a bit from our kits. So we put it on. We put them as eyes, and now each of them move in a different direction, like actual eyes of the chameleon.
That's great. So Fatma is a strong young girl. She's really strong that she's the only girl in the team not only she's the only girl of the team, she's also the leader. So how you were chosen to be the leader? It's a really interesting story also.
So I feel like being a girl wasn't a challenge or really major, because overall our skills are like the most important over here.
Exactly.
And each of us had the skills. And when Hamida told me that I was the leader, I was honored to be this, because it meant that she trusted me to lead the team to our goal, and it's an amazing experience.
Well, that's really great. And also what's important in doing your task and finish your work and doing great designs is the environment. So will you please tell me about how important to have a friendly environment when you do your designs and do your projects?
Yes, having a friendly environment is very important, because it increases our productivity and reduces our stress levels. And with a friendly environment, everyone is comfortable by saying their opinions and their ideas.
So it's really a great effort from your behalf, team leader Fatma, let's say, and we learned a lot from your experience, and thank you so much for being tonight with us on Halla Kuwait. But before we go, we would like you to share an advice for us, and especially for girls around your age, regarding your work and your story so far.
Yes, so what I would say is believe in yourself and accept failures in any shape they come, because they will help you grow and help you reach your goal.
Thank you so much, Fatma, for being tonight with us on Halla Kuwait, and we wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear viewers, we just had with us Fatma Iyad Ali, finalist and team leader of Team Sire. Let's go now to our fourth report of the evening, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Since early times, Kuwaitis have been attached to news sources and means of news, namely the radio, which turned particularly necessary with the outbreak of World War II. At those old times, a countable number of people possessed radios. Thus, citizens in Kuwait used to gather at diwaniyas to tune in the radio stations, namely London Radio, Cairo, and Baghdad radios. It was the Kuwaiti Izzat Jafar who operated the first radio transmitter in the country. It was located at Dasman and used to broadcast songs. However, it did not last for a long period of time. Soon, the citizens' living standards improved, particularly with oil discoveries, and the number of families possessing radios increased. In 1951, Mubarak al-Mayal, a Kuwaiti who served in the military, succeeded in setting up a new station. With half a megawatt power, aided by a Pakistani technician named Muhammad Khan Tufail. After obtaining permission from Sheikh Abdullah al-Mubarak, who was in charge of public security at the time, they began broadcasting throughout the country. "This is Kuwait." It was al-Mayal's first words, broadcasted at 7 p.m. on May 12, 1951, signaling the birth of the Kuwaiti radio. In the beginning, broadcasting was restricted to 2 hours only, but soon he succeeded in extending the transmission hours gradually. In 1958, 2 experts were employed and helped in developing the station. A year later, the transmitted programs diversified with the What the Listeners Want, the Night Storyteller, and the Week Story. Listeners used to be entertained between 7 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. In 1960, the radio station was developed further, and the radio transmitted the first news. In 1961, when the country proclaimed its independence, the station developed with a larger staff and more studios. It highlighted the eventful independence of Kuwait. However, in August 1990, the country witnessed the Iraqi invasion, thus posing a major challenge to the national radio. This is the Liberated State of Kuwait Radio. That was the opening term for restoring broadcasting locally on February 28, 1991 by Hussein Mullah Ali. In 1993, Kuwait Radio was re-established and reorganized, restoring its role as the voice of the nation.
Over 600 people have gone to space since 1961, and at least 12 of them have been Muslim. Though Muslims make up approximately 1/4 of the global population, they make up less than 2% of astronauts up to date. The first Muslim to encounter these challenges in space was Sultan bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, a fighter pilot and a prince of Saudi Arabia. In 1985, he was a payload specialist for the US's National Aeronautics and Space Administration mission STS-51G, using the Space Shuttle Discovery to launch 3 satellites. Anoushi Ansari, an Iranian-American, in 2006 became the first Iranian-American and first female Muslim in space, spending 10 days on the International Space Station. The current Muslim astronaut in space is Emirati astronaut Sultan al-Niyadi, who reached space for the first time in March 2023 for a 6-month mission, which is the longest stay in space for a Muslim astronaut.
Dear viewers, we are back and we had a very interesting episode in terms of our guests, of course, and all the subjects they discussed. And Muhammad, my guest Yusuf, I think is very inspirational. He's 11 years old and he did an amazing project about the coral reefs, and I think it was great that he actually enjoyed the project. He learned so much, and I think it was a great way for him to learn.
Definitely a great way to learn and know more about your talents and skills outside the school. It can define and take you to a brighter future, like when you go to university, and also with anything you planning for, and especially future projects.
Exactly. It's always better to learn while you're doing something, better than just trying to read and just learn the stuff without understanding it.
Exactly. And also, let's say, like, behind every successful story or any successful trainee or winner or student, there is a supporting coach and a successful coach also, which is Coach Hamida, and she was really doing a great effort with Kuwait's team, and they reached the finals of the Sphero competition, and they made a great achievement, and it's really we're proud of it, and we congratulate them for their great achievement and great project.
Exactly. I think she had a very vital part in that project with supporting the students, and we could really even see that here in the studio. But Muhammad, with that, I think we've reached the end of our episode for this evening.
Definitely. We have reached the end of tonight's episode, dear viewers. Please stay safe, have a great evening, and enjoy your suhoor.
Have a lovely night. Good night.